What's good? I'm MarkiedeeJr, R&B artist out of Queens, New York. Yes, sir. How I got started? I mean, I've always been into music. Like, I was raised in the church, so like that was always a part of my life. I'm still in the church, so it's still part of my life. Like, I'm a musician. I play the drums, the bongos, in church. So it's like, that's just a part of me. My mother, she's a singer. My sister plays almost every instrument. My cousin's a keyboard player. So it's like, music's always been around me since like the start. And it just transitioned into this, I think, really with my pops, because like he's the one that introduced me to like R&B. You know what I mean? Like, I remember like road trips we used to go on, like the family, and like he'll be playing Jaheim, Akon. He loves some Tina Marie. You know what I mean? Like, he'd be playing like mad old school joints. I'm singing along. I don't know what I'm singing about, but it's just the melodies and like the cadences just caught me. So, I started to take it serious maybe about like 3 years ago, and now we're here. I got into recording because it's actually a funny story. Because I still play ball, but like I used to play ball like a lot. I used to go to like LA Fitness and just hoop. One day I got injured, so I was just like down and out. I was at the crib. I couldn't go nowhere. I was just locked in the crib. And I was listening to like early Roddy Ricch. When he first started, his production and all that, it wasn't the greatest. It was good, but it wasn't the greatest. And I'm like, I think I could do this. I don't know. It was just something in me that was like, I think I could do this. So I just went in my basement. I used to have this like High School Musical mic that came with like this PS2 video game that you would hook up to the thing, and like it was a USB. So I took that, plugged it to the Mac, and I had GarageBand at the time, and I made it work. It was so like bad, but I was just like, let me try this. That's how I got really started. So it was like that High School Musical mic. So if y'all see me somewhere super big in the future, that's where it was. I think my sound separates from everyone else is that, everybody says they like unique, but honestly, when people ask me like, oh, who do you compare yourself to? Like, who do you sound to? Like when they try to get a gist of like what my music is like, I have a really hard time just like picking an artist. I just by default say like Bryson Tiller, but I honestly believe like there's nobody out there that really sounds like me. Just by the way that I craft my melodies, the way that I go about making songs, like, and even with the production, like the beat selection that I go with, it's not your typical sound that you would hear in the R&B space as of today. So I would really just describe my sound as a fusion of like modern R&B with like early 2000s. The beat selection, production is like akin to like a Timberland joints that you would hear like Genuine on kind of thing. The way that I go about laying down my verses and like all of that is really like the modern sound of R&B, like with the auto-tune. It's not really the ballad cadences, you know what I mean? It's more of like, so a fusion of like hip-hop cadences in there, but I'm still singing to the ladies, and I'm giving of a more modern approach to it. It's real unique to me. It's the type of music that I feel defines my artistry, and I don't care a lot of people doing this, like especially out of New York. Like if we talking about New York, I don't know anybody that's doing this sound. So when it comes to like the branding, I really try to make it all make sense. With everything that I do, I really try not to force it. I let everything come to me. I let everything be genuine. Just with my camp in general, like my manager, my people I keep around me, is all genuine. So like when it comes to how, we want to brand myself, it's really just on some, okay, let's see how people react naturally to certain things that I put out and how it all correlates with what I got going on. So right now, we're about to roll out this branding name, this little thing that we got called RTF, Restoring the Feeling. I feel like there's a lane that I'm in that is bringing back a certain feel that people are missing. It may not necessarily be like, oh, I remember this reminds me of this, but it's like the feeling that you heard when you heard a certain sound before that you don't really hear anymore. When you hear my music, it's something that resonates with you, that like, oh, this is something that like I've been missing, like it's restoring something back. You know, we're kind of starting to brand around that. Branding is so important, and we're real selective of what we do. For myself, like I don't take just any shows anymore. I started off with my first show. It was cool. Then after that, I was able to get SOBs. Like for my second show, SOBs, once I got that, I'm real selective of where I'm going next. Like I can't just go to anywhere. SOBs in New York, that's legendary, you know. It's for my second show. Now there's a standard that I have to, you know, keep myself at. And now this next show that's coming up, Pianos, you know, that's right there. That's another popping spot in New York. So, you know, it all has to make sense. You can't just do any and everything, because then people's gonna be like, okay, what is he known for? Da, 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 da. So yeah, the branding is very important. I feel like the fan base is just like people that listen to your music, that ride with the music, that like they jack your music. It's something that they bump it here and there, they add it to your playlist, cool, it's fun. But then I feel like the community, the like supporters, those are the ones that's coming out to the shows, the one that's buying the merch, that's putting on their friends and families to the music. Like, yo, you heard this new MarkiedeeJr? Like, it's fire. Like, he's my, like, you know what I mean? They the ones that's really gonna show out. They the ones that's gonna support you on the socials. They the one that's gonna like, they just the one that's gonna ride for you, you know? They the ones that's RTF, honestly. Like, it's not just a branding mechanism. It's really like a community, a family. So that's how you build like a real fan base that's more than just the casual listener. I would never have thought that like 60-year-old women like my music. Like my mother just told me like today, she was like, you know, this such and such after such and such. She's like, oh, what's your son's music? I love it, like da da da. Like that woman's 60. What's she doing bumping me? Like that's how you know like the community is real, bro. That's something that's fire. So like community is so important. Like you always got to be tapped in and tuned in with the people that really support your music and just what you got going on. So this next project is really just expanding on the sound that I was talking about earlier. My first like 2 big projects, quote unquote, it was me like really just finding myself, finding my artistry. So I wasn't necessarily in my bag yet of where I wanted to be sonically. Like I've always known it, but I wasn't able to get there. But this next project it's gonna get there. It's a concept project called Y'all Still a Thing, or Are Y'all Still a Thing, something like that. We still working on, you know, titles, but it's, you know, it's not anything too long. It's EP. It's gonna lead into another project, so it's nice. I'm not gonna lie, it's nice. It's going along really well. So that I'm really excited for, because that's fire in my opinion. Everybody says, oh, their latest work is their best work, and yeah, I think this is you know, my best work so far. So I'm excited for that to come out soon this year, and I'm excited for everybody to really just like lock in and just hear where I'm at, and just like how my pen has grown and how I express, you know, the different ideas and stories that come in my mind. So yeah, this new music that's coming is something to really wait for.